Well, I wasn't going to film this, but I figure I might as well. This is how you know you're a little too excited for Halloween Kills, when you're out buying knives. So this is supposedly the new knife he gets in the movie. Originally they reported that it was going to be the same knife that you see in Halloween 2018, but the model that's like 2 inches longer. So I think it's like a 10-inch knife instead of a 8-inch or something. But this apparently is what he's actually using, from what I could tell. And, well, the Tots version was going to be like 20 bucks. This was 15. So I think I'm just going to sand down the edge on here a little bit and make this safer for my collection. Another unboxing here. I dulled the knife down. I can't cut this box with the knife. Damn it, it would have been so appropriate. This is the box that every Myers collector is getting right now. But I just like to gloat that my friend ordered his mask before mine and paid for expedited shipping. And his has not left. I think it was Nightmare Toys he ordered it from. Has not left there. And I ordered mine, like I said, after him. And it's here 2 days early. And like I said, the mask that everybody's getting right now smells like a Tots mask. You know, this thing isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Let's turn to the crispy side here. My copy does not appear to have substantial amounts of yellow on it, which is the thing I thought was the ugliest bit of the stock paint job. Let's be serious here. I'm having this thing rehauled. I've already made the plans, made the arrangements for it. I want it to be a better looking mask than it is stock. But if I wasn't going to do that, or if I wasn't able to afford that, this actually isn't that bad. I really thought it was going to be worse. The hair, burnt hair, looks actually pretty good. I think they might have just used latex and then just kind of like painted over the latex on the hair, but it looks pretty good. We got some blood there on the side. I don't know if it's supposed to be is the knitting needle scar? I think that might be it under the tag there, the knitting needle scar maybe. The bottom here is all like torn up looking. Got the cracks all through it. I gotta say, I mean, I want to see it in action in the movie, but this is a pretty badass looking mask, like in the movie type thing. Oh wow, they actually like highlighted some of the rot on here. The lines are not really particularly highlighted in the mask. We got the blood, or the shotgun wound there. You know, it's not bad at all, man. I was expecting a lot worse out of this, and I'm sure once it's rehauled, gonna have Rob Slasher, Stabbing Cabin Studios take a whack at this thing and try to make it look better. But yeah, it's pretty solid. And he got his knife to go with him. Perfect. I think I'm gonna make some kind of stand so the knife could sit like this or something. So the original H40 mask was definitely tight on my head. This is no different, and supposedly it's a little bigger, but not by a lot. Ow. I'm pretty darn pleased with this thing. I know this is going to be like the mask, like I said, that everybody buys this fall, because it was with the 2018, and I see that that's probably going to be the case again. But I think this one's actually an improvement over the 2018, as far as like stock paint job, all that. And honestly, I think it's kind of a badass mask on its own. Obviously, looking at it here in the harsher light, like, you know, because it was in the little cubby before in the bookshelf, definitely looks better in low lighting than it does in bright lighting, but definitely workable. Just to kind of make 2 additional notes on this mask. First of all, it was very hot yesterday when this was delivered. Yeah, I'm filming this the next morning. And yeah, this thing had probably been on the mail truck all day. And I gotta say, made my entire office smell amazing, because it smelled like a vintage Halloween store. And it just made me want to go watch the beginning of Halloween 4 and the scenes from the Haunted Mask and stuff, where they're in the Halloween shops. Yeah, I mean, it's the smell of warm latex, I guess, but, you know, it has a nostalgic thing. And then the second thing I did want to note is that I don't know, when it comes to rehauling, if a lot of people are just going to be rehairing these things by default. Like I said, stock, I think it came out okay, the way they did the burnt hair effect. I think that works all right. I mean, I hate that Tots does this way of gluing it down instead of like making it more hidden. But what I did notice is that because it is like latex through the hair to harden it up or whatever it is in there, that on my copy it went a little too far over. If you look at like the screen used mask and even their, you know, production samples, like the section in the middle is more like poofed up on top of his head before it gets to the burnt half. And with mine, I really can't mess with that center part of the hair, so really about here is where I could start actually manipulating the hair any to get it to stick up and look less flat. So I don't know, some of these may require a bit more rework just to get the hair looking right. And we are off. This is supposed to be the day that the first Spirit Halloween opens near me. I drove past last night. They had a hours sign in the window. It looks like they open at 11 from what I could tell. Hopefully that was correct. So I'm going to swing by there and see if they are actually open, if they're actually stocked. There's really a couple things that I'm really looking for in terms of like, I want to buy it right now because I'm excited about it, but other stuff I'll probably wait till the coupons start hitting, assuming they do. Alright, so that was a pretty successful first Spirit trip of the season. They had a decent amount considering that they literally opened like 10 minutes before I got there. They didn't have everything I was hoping for, but that's kind of normal. I saw a couple things in the flagship store that I'm sure will take a little bit to trickle down, specifically the Killer Clowns gun, which even from the flagship store, I haven't seen a lot of people highlight, but I really want that cotton candy gun. They actually had the lights that they had last year, the Sam and Michael Myers ones. They had a good amount of them on display, and I picked those up for my friend, and when they saw me buying them, they kind of were like, oh, yep, everybody's trying to get those before they all sell out. So I don't know if they're going to be hard to get this year again as well, but it seems like a possibility. The mask section wasn't particularly filled out yet. They did have multiple copies of the Halloween Kills mask. I was kind of thinking that might be hard to get a little bit, but now I'm starting to realize that those things have been sitting around for a year. So they probably have a decent backstock of them, like Trick or Treat Studios does. So maybe they'll be pretty easy to find wherever you go, but they did have them. They did exist. So today I went out to go hit a few stores with a friend of mine to go see what other Halloween cool stuff I could come up with. So there's supposed to be 2 other Spirit Halloweens that opened in Jacksonville, and the first one actually had like handwritten signs all over the door saying they were still not open, so I guess there was a miscommunication there. There was another one that I thought was supposed to be open. It had an hour sheet outside that started on Saturday. Today's Friday, so I guess they're opening tomorrow. But there was one that was in literally like half a mile down the road from this second one that I was looking at. And I don't think it was listed as being open this weekend, but they were, so I was able to go in and check it out. Not a whole lot more than what I saw in the store yesterday. I didn't film anything, but I did actually pick up some stuff this time. They had these little Beetlejuice tombstone replicas. I thought they were pretty cool. It's like a kind of a stone type deal. I don't know what it really is made out of, like a resin or something, but I thought it looked really neat. I mean, it actually looks like the movie one. Like overall, this thing's pretty solid looking. A weird one to pick up. Not something I would typically buy, but I want it for a display. I got a beer mug prop. So this actually is the kind that has like fake beer in it. And I've forgotten these were a thing. And then I was watching a video from that Midsummer Scream Con, and somebody was walking around with one of these in a gremlin costume, and I realized that I could probably find one and add it to my display. So I have the Flasher Gremlin, and I wanted to build like a little mini display on the table he's sitting at when you go in the door. And, you know, it's from the bar scene, so having a beer with him, there's a paper in here we could take out to make it look better. You know, when you look at it from the side, it looks more or less like a beer. So I thought this would be a good accessory. I do want to get like a theatrical cigarette to stick with him as well, just to really finish out the look. He has some playing cards, and I know I have some poker chips around somewhere that I'm eventually going to put with him. You know, just to create that feeling. It's a really tiny area that he's on, but I just thought some accessories would really spruce that up and make it cool looking. And last but not least, I got a Halloween 2 mug. I could always use more coffee mugs. I thought this was really cool with Michael Myers, and it's orange on the inside. While I was out there, I also went to like Party City. They didn't really have too much. They're getting there. They had like a handful of the masks that they have every year that were probably left over from previous years that were up, but nothing too crazy yet. I saw some people were starting to find Halloween Kills coveralls and prop knives and stuff. Not that I need those, but they were finding them at Party City, so I was just curious to see if anything here was getting stuff in, but no luck. Also went to a local comic shop, didn't find anything that I really wanted, and it's the same kind of stuff I showed off in my previous vlog with just some various Tots masks and life-size Michael Myers and things like that. But then headed over to a used bookstore and found quite the stack. My goal was to go and get myself some Goosebumps books. So I'm mostly trying to find the ones that are like the older release. I don't know too much about Goosebumps in terms of like collectability, things like that. But preferably I want the ones that have like you could feel the Goosebumps logo on it, and then it has a number on the spine. I think those are the earlier releases of it. There are some reissues where that's not the case. And really, I've only been picking those up. Well, first of all, if they're inexpensive, which this bookstore always is. And if they look still pretty close to those original releases and don't have some of the big format changes they did to the covers later on. So it's a weird way I'm picking them up. And still, even if I have the newer copies, I'm still looking for the numbered copies when I can find them. So this one's probably in the worst condition of the bunch, but Shocker on Shock Street. It's the newer copy, I believe. Obviously, it's got writing on it. It's got a sticker on it, but it's fine. Similar type book, Night of the Living Dummy. And then Beast from the East. This is one of the ones I remember really enjoying as a kid. So this, even though it's the newer version, I definitely wanted to make sure I grabbed this copy because I want to read it again. There's also an Even More Tales to Give You Goosebumps. Kind of remember these, don't remember really well, but I grabbed this as well. And then on to the ones that are actually like numbered and textured. Say Cheese and Die Again, Egg Monsters from Mars, Monster Blood 3. Oh, this is the newer style too, A Night in Terror Tower. And then back to the numbered ones, Horror at Camp Jelly Jam. So that bookstore has a second location downtown, so we actually went out there as well. And I was joking on the ride over that, you know, it's going to be funny if I just bought a book at the last one that I find an upgrade for at this store. And immediately found a spine numbered copy of Night of the Living Dummy. So probably sell off the other one back to another used bookstore and keep this one. And then Be Careful What You Wish For, also numbered and textured. So that was a happy little Goosebumps score. I also kind of was wanting to grab some of the old Ghost of Fear Street because I remember really enjoying those. I had a couple in my collection, so I ended up with Who's Been Sleeping in My Grave, Attack of the Aqua Apes, Stay Away from the Treehouse, Eye of the Fortune Teller, and The Ooze. So with these, I'm actually up to the first 8 books of that series, minus number 7. I don't think I ever got past that as a kid. So unless I have like some, you know, memory of some of the later ones that I'd forgotten about, I'm probably going to stop there, pick up number 7 if I find it, but probably going to end there with the Ghost of Fear Street books, but still working to complete the Goosebumps. I have a checklist, so I constantly have like a list on my phone where I could see what I need and what condition things are in. So slowly working to build out that collection. It's a cool little nostalgic thing. I know I could go online and probably find things pretty easily, but to me, I feel like this is something to save for when I'm in a store that has used books and stuff to actually look for. I don't know. I just think like if I go online and buy them off eBay, anybody could do that. But I think actually having the fun of hunting them down, even if I end up with some duplicates that I have to get rid of later, is kind of just a fun thing to do. Fuck yeah. At Spooky Empire earlier this year, I had bought this gremlin puppet from Trick or Treat Studios, and I think even in the video where I talked about buying it, I had gone and done a couple things to this display for him, but I never got it quite how I wanted, and he doesn't stand particularly great on his own, so I'm going to be modifying some stuff so that he could actually stand, and then actually modifying out the display so he looks how I want him to look. So the first thing we're going to do is something I hadn't realized when I got this. I didn't know it was a puppet, to be quite honest. He has a hole up his back, and I'm basically going to get a piece of PVC pipe and put it through there, and then we're going to connect that PVC pipe to this little IKEA table that he lives on, and that should hopefully let him stay upright, and then I can theme the rest of the stuff around him. So I basically just took this dowel, put a hole through the middle of it, bolted it into the table, and then the PVC pipe will just fit snugly on there. Yeah, I'm gonna bolt it in there just to make it a little more secure, but it's not too shabby. Let's put 2 screws in there. I think that's about all I need for this. So I'm just gonna paint this matte black and it should be ready to go. So while I wait for the column stand part to dry, I'm actually gonna take these playing cards and glue them down to the table. I was really resisting it, but A, it's hot glue, so I know it'll come off if I ever want to repurpose the table. B, I already drilled a hole in it, so you know, I kind of already modified this a bit. And then honestly, when I had them on there before, if anything did move or get hit, you know, there were cards all over the floor. Really don't want that to happen, so I think locking them down is gonna be the best option here. Alright, so there we go. They're all pretty loosely glued in. I could move them if I wanted to, really. Not like super stuck down, just like a little drop of glue in the middle of most of them. I actually did glue the pack down here. I glued the cards into the pack and left the pack kind of open. Definitely wanted to make sure I had like the jokers out because that feels very Gremlins. And then of course Ace of Spades right up front. Get some Motorhead reference in there. But yeah, I think it looks appropriately messy. I have other bits that are going to go on top of here either now or eventually anyway. Honestly, the one thing I got to find is I know I have poker chips somewhere here that I haven't touched in years, and I really just want to put like a couple poker chips scattered around, and then I have the beer glass that'll go on here. I probably won't glue the beer glass down unless it proves to be a problem, but I'm excited to see how this all goes when it's actually fully assembled. So here is the stand in place. So yeah, like the main shelf bit there, and then everything on there. I got the tube connected, so all we gotta do now is drop the gremlin on. There he is on the stand. He went on really easily. His feet are on the ground. You can see his feet aren't really like able to support his body. They're kind of flimsy, so it makes sense that he would have some issues, but yeah, got everything below, so just gotta add a couple more bits and we'll be good. Alright, got his sunglasses since he is kind of facing the front door, and his beer. I'm gonna call that complete for now. Like I said, I'll add some poker chips eventually, I think, and then I want to get like a theatrical cigarette to stick in his mouth, but beyond that, I think he is set. So I got this, I didn't film an unboxing on it, and I started modifying it a little bit, but I figured I should probably jump in here and talk about it real quick. I see a lot of people online saying that this is the same model voice changer they used in the original Scream. I do not believe that is actually the case. From what I can tell, the screen used one is a bit different from this, but I think this is close enough to work for what I want to use it for. Looking at some pictures of ones that look like they're closer to the screen used one, or maybe pictures of the real prop, I can't really tell. It looks like I have to get rid of this logo here at the top, and then the televoicer, so it should just be telephone voice changer. Looks like obviously all these little, well, maybe not obviously, but these little extended out sections here, they're all raised up bits of text. Those are black for the most part on the real thing, and the phone has like a cord coming off the bottom of it. So I mean, I've been going through with a marker, but it looks like it's a little messy when I look at it on here, so I'll have to go back in and clean some of that up. But yeah, I did realize I'm gonna have to sand off some of these to make it look the way I want it to. Also, the back here, I gotta look more at what this thing is. It's adhesive. There was a cover on it. I took the cover off and then I realized it's sticky. I don't even know what the point of that is, if you're supposed to like stick it on the phone or something. But yeah, I'm gonna try to see what I could do about that, because that is gonna be a pain in the butt. Needs a little more cleanup work, but I sanded off those bits that I didn't want on there. The problem is the thing itself is kind of like a sparkly texture, so in the right light you can really see where I sanded stuff off. This was super cheap, by the way, so I'm not like too worried about it being messed up. I could also redo it. I gotta go back and touch up the coloring of the letters and clean up around them with some like acetone or something, but overall got about the right idea going on here. All right, so I found a battery for it. Let's give this a try. Hello, Sydney. Hello, Sydney. Yeah, it works pretty well. Alright, so I skipped the unboxing part of this because I've been trying to get out the door here pretty quickly. This is one of the things I ordered while I was at MegaCon. I went live on Friday the 13th. The Child's Play 2 soundtrack. This is, I guess this particular release is Enjoy the Ride Records, though I know Waxwork had their own version of this coming out. There's just a bunch of different variants and like limited amounts of each variant. So here we got the art on the inside, showing the classroom. We should have a copy of Andy's homework, which I kind of love. And there's a little bit of like liner notes there as well. So yeah, like I said, I'm halfway out the door, but let's check out the vinyl itself and one of the tracks maybe. So side A has the track listing, Child's Play 2. The colors on this one are kind of based on his costume or his outfit. This was, I think, the most limited. I want to say it was like 300 copies they made. And this is my favorite color scheme of all of them. Flip it over to side B, and we have the melted eye there in the middle, but basically you just see the same pattern because it is translucent. And then side C, you see a little bit different color scheme here, more red, white, and blue. But side D is the thing that really sold me on this set, with having the little Chucky footprints throughout here. I think that's a really cool touch, going through the splatter. And just one last check before I play this. Side D actually does not have anything on it. It's just a display side, I guess, which is kind of bummer since that's the coolest looking side of them all, at least in my opinion. I thought I could do this wearing that mask. I can't. The mask is way too tight on my head. I actually tried putting the, I don't even know where to put it now. Tried putting the Wolfman mask from Trick or Treat Studios on first. I couldn't even get it far enough on my head to where I wasn't just looking out of the ear holes on it. Yeah, so that's not gonna work. So, I found these at Walmart today. These are, I guess, similar to what we got last year. Last year they did these little blind capsule bag things for Halloween and for Child's Play. And it was a lot of just mostly stupid stuff. There were a couple like random head sculpts in it, and there were some like lanyards and shoelaces and erasers and stuff. But I wanted to pick this one up because, yeah, it's new stuff. It's Universal Horror. I doubt it, but I'm kind of secretly hoping that since there were like random head sculpts in with the other ones, that maybe there'll be a head sculpt other than Frankenstein's monster in this one. We can get a sneak peek at one of the new NECA head sculpts in person. I doubt it. I highly doubt it, but we're going to give it a shot. Actually, you know what? This one is already open, so we'll start with this one. And just as I expected, so yeah, these are like black and white little plastic orbs, which I thought I was going to find something really cool to do with last year, but that did not happen. But oh wow, I don't think the other ones had detail on them. This one actually says Universal Monsters on it, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, we get some Dracula shoelaces. So yeah, they just say Dracula on them. Ironically, I have a pair of shoes. I was just dug up the old Halloween ones. I was going to put the Halloween ones on that pair of shoes. I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe there'll be some cool ones here. No, I will stick with the Halloween ones. The Dracula, I mean, it's cool, but it's not cool enough. Not as cool as the Halloween one by far. All right, next up, we have, looks like a little Frankenstein's monster kind of clip, I guess. It has a little latch on the back so you can put it on like a bag or something like that. Dracula keychain, that's actually pretty darn cool. And both this and the last one, they're kind of like a soft rubber material, so it doesn't feel like they're gonna break or anything like that. So I may actually throw this on my keys. And, okay, it's a pin. Oh, the mummy as a pin. That's actually pretty sweet. I like that. This is heavier, so let's see. Oh, it's a eraser with the bride. Nice. I just realized doing this and showing you little tiny things on camera with a wall of faces behind me may not have been the best decision I could have made. And then this one is a patch. Okay, so we're filling out the ranks here because our next one is a Wolfman patch. Very cool. Kind of a Lance Armstrong style bracelet with Frankenstein on it. Dracula sticker, it looks like. And last but not least, are we going to get a head sculpt out of this? I'm kind of doubting it. Okay, well, at least we do finish the ranks. Creature from the Black Lagoon, Magnet. So, mildly bummed we didn't get a head sculpt in there. I was really hoping after last year that that was going to be one of the bits included. But it is what it is. This was kind of cool. It's $10. It's a lot of random trinkety kind of stuff. So I know it's not going to be for everybody, but it was fun going through it. I think the blind bag appeal of it is actually cooler than the items inside.